actions would be most crucial for effective program management. A lot going on there. Hey, Victor, how you doing? Is that too small? Can folks read that? Throw me a thumbs up or something. Looks good. Okay. So we are looking for which of the following actions would be most crucial for an effective program management. Throw some hands up if anybody's got ideas. I'm going to read over this a few more times.
Yeah, one thing, let me put my...
No, don't be silly. Go ahead, Thomas.
One thing that stood out to me is that to ensure accurate results and minimal impact on operations. So I'm thinking accurate results. I'm leaning towards like automated tools for accurate results.
Okay. Tai likes it. Let's try this. Let's highlight some keywords. See if this helps us.
Because with questions like these, I always read them backwards. The program management, effective, crucial, and actions. Yeah, I would go with C.
Accurate results, minimum impact.
I think it was Thomas with a D.
I would also go with the C. I think that makes sense in terms of being most effective and crucial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, looking at the word program towards C as well, because of in before conducting any text.
Yeah, I would go with C also because of the minimal impact, some of the keywords. They are not permission.
Okay. I would be muddy in the waters. So what do we think? We're going to fire on C, first question.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah, we got it right.
So, I mean, is permission to reduce the risk, or what is the idea of permission, Vincent?
Here, before you can omit any penetration testing, it needs to approve. The approval, you can't just go ahead with the pen testing, because you never can tell. It might affect the operations. You need to let them know, the stakeholder, to be aware.
Yeah. So the most crucial thing to do would be notifying them before you engage in any activities. You got to get the rules of engagement and kind of figure out the scoping, and before you can do that work in their environment. Let's see what else we got. What is the best method to sanitize a solid state drive? I'm going to vote for physical destruction.
It's physical destruction. Yeah.
Yeah, I vote for 2. Yeah.
Excuse me. All right. Wanda is working with one of her organization's European Union business partners to facilitate the exchange of customer information. Wanda's organization is located in the United States. What would be the best method for Wanda to ensure GDPR compliance? We've actually gone over this one on a previous study group, but we can discuss it for anyone who wasn't there for that one. And apologies to those who were. So this one, let's look at the key words. How many people have already seen this? See, okay, well, we can just think about it real quick. So United States is the only one coming back as a key word.
Yeah, mentioned that safe harbor and privacy shields, they're no longer effective, and the binding corporate, it's not binding corporate, it's more leaning towards standard contractual clauses there.
Right, right. And let's see, standard contractual clauses, let's see if it gives us.
Mm-hmm.
This was what I thought really stuck out to me. If the data was being shared internally within a company, binding corporate rules would also be an option. So it's about internal versus external on that one, the way I read it. Okay. The government defense contractor that Sheila works for has recently shut down a major research project and is planning on reusing the hundreds of thousands of dollars of systems and data storage tapes used for the project for other purposes. When Sheila reviews the company's internal processes, she finds that she can't reuse the tapes and that the manual says they should be destroyed. Why isn't Sheila allowed to degauss and then reuse the tapes to save her employer money? Let's see from Victor.
Can we see? You can only see A to C. Can we see what's in D?
Should update in a moment. I've got can you see all the options? I got some B's. Yeah. I'm sorry, Tay, how do you feel?
Yeah, I said, can we see the on option D? The screen, we can see all the answer to the question. I can only see A to C. What's in D?
Is anyone else having trouble seeing all the questions?
No, I can see A through D.
Okay, sorry, Tay. It sounds like you might just have a little lag on your end. So we got overwhelming majority on A, or excuse me, B, data remnants would be a concern. Yep. Some low-hanging fruit there. Let's see. I'm interested because I'm still fleshing this out, this manager's perspective. Is anyone, let's see if this is helpful. A bit more concise. Okay. What's on option D? It says data from tapes can't be erased by degaussing is option D. All right, let's move on to the next one. Why is declassification rarely chosen as an option for media reuse? Let's see what we got. Good job. Thanks for that, Victor. Hey, Reg.
Hey, how you all doing?
Good, good. Good to see you. All right. Fred wants to classify his organization's data using common labels, private, sensitive, public, and proprietary. Which of the following should he apply to his highest classification level based on common industry practices?
I'll go with D.
Victor likes B. Okay. I don't know who's voting for what. It's flying. Guys, I'm registering the first answer as C. It's like the real test. Got some disparity here. So Fred wants to classify his organization's data using common labels, private, sensitive, public, and proprietary. Which of the following should he apply to the highest classification level? So it's organizational data. Turning into D. Let's just find out. I think it is proprietary. Yeah. Proprietary and confidential data are the most sensitive. All right, during a routine security audit, your organization's security team discovered suspicious network traffic originating from a specific internal host to an external IP address known for malicious activities. Further investigation revealed potential data exfiltration. You've been tasked with initiating an incident response and digital forensics investigation. Which of the following steps should be prioritized in this scenario? Mm.
Yeah, I'll go with A.
All right. So immediately isolate the internal host from the network to contain the incident. Okay. Or obtain a memory dump of the suspicious host for volatile data analysis. All
I
right.
believe, I believe
Well, let's
it
talk
will
about this
apply.
one. Go ahead, Victor.
I believe it will apply if we were doing an investigation, but we're not there yet. We're in the incident response phase right now, so we should contain the incident.
Okay. Thanks for that. What about for the memory dump? Anybody want to justify? C? Robert says C is first because you're tasked with digital forensics. Okay.
Yeah, I know it's C because I thought it was A, and it's not
Okay.
A. It's C. I think I got this. I had the same question on the real test or something similar, and I put A. The answer C.
Okay, that's
I
fair.
got it
Why did C end up being correct?
because of what I said about you're supposed to do the you're being tasked as the digital forensic person, so you need to do digital forensics before you isolate the host, and that's by doing the memory dump. You're catching what's happening real time before you isolate the host.
Okay, that's helpful. So the key for like the tipping point for this one is what I'm tasked with.
Exactly.
Thanks for that. All right, let's see what else we got. In a large enterprise environment during a routine security audit, suspicious network traffic is detected originating from a critical server in the DMZ. The security team suspects a possible data breach involving sensitive customer information. As part of the security incident response process, what technical steps should be taken to preserve evidence on the compromised server for digital forensic analysis? And let's keep in mind what we just learned. Hey, Alton.
Hello, hello.
My gut says A. No. Excuse me. It does not. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Mike on that one. Yeah, me too. And I'll give you guys some inside baseball here. The way I'm generating the questions with the seed questions, I've noticed this, and it's only because the question database is only 200 questions right now. I got to generate some more. It's basing it on that or that concept or that principle. It's just like quizzing us on that again. So in this and potentially the real app, because that's what I tried to have it all based on. It's same thing, asking in a different way because it's expecting it to be a lot more spaced out. So that's kind of how I knew it would be that one as well. You got a B and a D. Let's see. Oh my gosh. This happened too. You guys shouldn't trust me on that.
Yeah,
This-
I was gonna say
This has happened before too. Totally confident because we saw the same thing.
because
So-
it's preserving evidence and not. Yeah, it's asking for it in retrospect. It's a tough. It's a weird worded question.
Yep. Don't ever be afraid to correct me or stop me where I'm wrong. Let's see why.
When I look at the top, it says preserve evidence. At the question, saying preserve. Right there, preserve evidence. And then the only way to preserve the
It's kind of
evidence, you have to
strange.
isolate it, clone it.
Right.
Yeah, but going back to the previous question, this goes against what we just saw. Because if you're doing forensic analysis, you need to ensure that you capture the network traffic or whatever you are able to capture, because some data are volatile and can easily lose volatile information if you don't quickly. So you isolating the server from the network, powering it off, you're gonna lose a lot of data in that process. So except there's something we are missing from that question, maybe we should just read it again and see.
Technical steps you should take.
Well, I think they are right, because if it's technical step, like technical, the first come to your mind is for you to isolate the network, then you power it up, and but I'm not. I believe that would be useful for forensic analysis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
They always say to just to isolate it, to disconnect and isolate it, or just to isolate it altogether. Heard it. Yep. They always say that. I just joined in. I'm sorry, guys.
No, it's all right. Nice to see you. Okay. Right. So this is live. Network traffic is originating from a critical server in the DMZ. Right. Okay. That makes sense to me. Take my L on that one.
I
Sorry, go
think
ahead.
the best part of that question is the wording where it says what technical steps. And the only one that actually has technical steps is A.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at too.
I like it. All right. Let's see what else. Asset security. What methods are often used to protect data in transit? Good job. Got a little bit of a rebound from that last one. All right. In a hybrid cloud environment, a company is implementing privileged access management, PAM, to secure critical systems. The company's security policy mandates the use of identity federation for single sign-on across on-premise and cloud resources. However, during the implementation phase, the security team faces a challenge in ensuring secure authentication and authorization. Which of the following strategies best addresses the issue?
SAML.
Okay. CCC. Okay, IAM is not my field of expertise. Does anybody want to offer kind of a thinking process on this one?
Well, it's talking authentication authorization. The only one that does that is SAML Federation.
Okay, easy. There you go. Okay, makes sense. All right. So pretty good, team. Let's see if we can get a wider breadth of questions.
Why did you put like number of questions and you just put a number 1 there? Why did you choose for that?
Where is that?
1. Like when it goes to the question and it said number of questions at 1, 5, 10.
Oh, you can just choose the amount of questions you want to start a quiz with. You can go all the way up to the total number you haven't seen before. So in theory, you could do a whole practice mock exam. It wouldn't have the logic for like the adaptive difficulty yet, which I will do soon, but you could do that if you wanted to run through and quiz yourself. But it's a lot to run through, and 125 of them right now without all the adaptive difficulty logic put in there. But yes, that is why you have those options there. Why it's just a single question? Why you have an option to just take a question for a single quiz? Is that what you're saying?
No, what I meant is like I think what I was trying to lean on is like, you know, the number of questions and you put 1 and then that would only give you one question.
Yep. Yeah, I did that for testing actually, so I could just do a quiz quickly and see the results. But then I
Oh,
just
I
left it
see.
in there for 1,
Okay.
5, and 10.
Hmm.
Let's do some of these. All right. So a multinational corporation has implemented a comprehensive network monitoring solution to detect and respond to potential security incidents. During a routine analysis, the security team notices an unusual spike in network traffic originating from a specific department's subnet outside regular business hours. What should the team's immediate response based on this network monitoring observation? Oops, sorry, I hit back. And check the chat. Lots of A's. Alton with a C. Anybody want to offer a defense for A? Mario's got a B. Yeah, Alton B. So would we immediately block it or investigate it first?
Well, I put to investigate it because it's a unusual spike, but you really don't know what it really is. So it ain't nothing I think that is pertinent. Like for example, exfiltration of data that is extremely highly pertinent that needs to be stopped immediately. But unusual spike, maybe somebody in the apartment, on that subnet outside normal business hours, maybe doing some, sending some, maybe downloading or uploading some traffic, and you don't know what it is. So I would say investigate.
Yeah, I would agree. Thinking about it a little more deeply. Let's see what we
Can I
got.
say D?
Oh, we have a D?
Oh no, I was just asking to see it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you can unmark it. Yeah.
Let's see what we. Yeah, A. So what were the other potentials that we thought? Immediately block it. Let's see why that would disrupt legitimate business operations, right? Because we don't yet know if the traffic is malicious. And can lead to false positives. For business continuity. Okay. Guys ready for the next one? I think I go a little faster than Claudia, so slow me down if you need to. During a penetration test, the red team successfully gained unauthorized access to the internal network by exploiting a vulnerability in a legacy system. What should the blue team prioritize to prevent similar incidents in the future? So how should the blue team stop the red team? Okay. Okay. We got some 3Ds. Anybody want a Victor Alton? Annette? My brain's going a different direction.
Yeah, I'm gonna say B, but I failed the test, so
Okay.
but I'll say B.
I feel like my gut says A.
Yeah, I'm
My gut.
also leaning towards A because yeah.
Tell us, please.
Oh, no.
I like A because this is a penetration testing exercise, and I'm overly confident when I feel like I know the answer, but I'll tell you why I think I know the answer. So they're in an exercise. They're just trying to red team, blue team. They're going back and forth. They're trying to patch against this stuff. Patching isn't an option, which would be the first thing that came to mind. So the only thing that could stop them from gaining access, if I can't patch it, is to do network segmentation. Anybody else? Group still feels. I got to reset. I got to put a reset counter button.
Okay.
That's my logic. Anybody else want to offer their thinking around their answer?
Yeah, because IDS isn't gonna actually stop it. It's just gonna notice it. I'm gonna change my B to A.
Okay. I see some in the chat. Same thing. We'll fire on A. See what we got. Yeah. Let's see if our thinking was correct.
I see it. This has already been done. That's what happened.
Right. All right. Anybody else on this one, or should we move on? Okay. During a penetration test, the red team successfully gains access to an organization's critical database server by exploiting a known vulnerability in the web application to escalate privileges. They plan to capture network traffic to obtain credentials. What security control could have prevented this attack vector? Anybody got a line of thinking on this one? Sorry, Mike, I saw that D. All right, so we're penetration testing again. Red team already got access to a critical database, exploiting a web vulnerability in a web application. We got some A's rolling in. That's where my gut went.
I'm thinking it's A. My justification is that it says they plan to capture network traffic to obtain credentials. And over the network traffic is TLS.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. That was my line of thinking too, is that's the only thing that could protect the data in transit.
Yeah, nothing else really makes sense.
Right. We got monitoring, we got data at rest, we've got network segmentation, and then data in transit. Cool. Good job, everyone. We thought through that one. We didn't even, let's, oh my gosh.
We're all wrong.
What are we doing? right? They plan to capture network traffic. How can I stop their plan of capturing network traffic by implementing VLAN segmentation? Right. So we were correct in our thinking that this would encrypt data in transit. Wouldn't prevent lateral movement, right? Once initial access is gained. So we know they've successfully gained access. We're trying to prevent lateral movement. That makes sense to everybody?
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, that one was disheartening.
I think that last sentence when it said what security control, missing that because implementing transport TLS on the network. I mean, it makes sense, but the security control part should have been a little more leaning
I
towards.
think the main word I missed out from there is successfully gain access. So if they successfully gain access, that means they're already in talk. And the only way to prevent that is to enforce network segmentation in order for them to avoid the lateral movement within the network.
Yeah, that was the curveball they plan. As soon as we saw that, we could have just put a line through this whole sentence. All right. In a corporate network environment, the security team wants to implement a network monitoring solution to detect and prevent unauthorized access attempts. They're considering deploying a security information and event management system. Which of the following best describes the role of a SIEM in network monitoring? Should be a straightforward one for us. All right. Event management. In the corporate network environment, the security team wants to implement a network monitoring solution to detect and respond to suspicious activities. They're considering using a security information and event management system. Which of the following is a primary benefit of utilizing a SIEM for network monitoring?
A.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do a couple more. Roll the dice. In a security audit of a company's network infrastructure, the auditor discovers that the firewall rules are not adequately restricting outbound traffic. The auditor recommends implementing egress filtering to enhance the network security posture. What is the primary purpose of egress filtering in this scenario? Mhm. Yep, got lots of A's.
Yeah.
Right. Egress filtering is a network security measure that controls and monitors outbound network traffic from an organization's network to prevent unauthorized data transfers. Right. In a hybrid cloud environment, a multinational corporation is implementing privileged access management to secure critical systems. The IT team is debating between using role-based access control and attribute-based access control for managing privileged user rights. The organization's security policy mandates the use of multi-factor authentication for all access. Which access control model is more suitable for enforcing MFA for privileged users in this scenario? So which access control model is more suitable for enforcing MFA? So we got two A's and a D. Okay, so anybody want to talk us through their thinking? So which would be more suitable? So they're implemented privileged access control. So we're going to use role-based or attribute-based. Which is more suitable, role-based or attribute-based for enforcing MFA?
Attribute based would be, wouldn't it be like a change, like a geographical location, or
Right. I'm thinking like having configuring it in O365 or something, enforcing MFA at the user level or attribute level.
so attributes should be something like some change, some particular change or something happening that we'll call an attribute, where a role base should be more used for a group. If you have a group that's of users, it may be part of HR or IT, and it'll be a role base.
Okay. Which do we think is more suitable?
Oh shit! Maybe it could be C.
Base.
Yeah, I changed my mind. Not A. I mean, if we're doing it correctly, it's probably C.
Yeah, we've shot ourselves in the foot on a couple of these. Let's think through.
So when you look at the question, it says which access control model is suitable for enforcing for privileged users in this scenario. So we're looking for privileged users.
Because for sure RBAC. Like I'm not,
Okay.
I'm 95% sure it's RBAC, but the MFA, I'm thinking it's enforced at the resource level because you're talking about the critical systems. What are those critical systems is the question. Are you talking about your servers? Because where's your conditional access policy? Is the user level, I mean, that could be anyone. Whereas your resource level, that's where your PAM comes in, your privileged access management. So if you want your certain admins accessing certain resources, that's why I think it's going to be C.
Those are good finds. Critical system. That logic I would agree with, and makes me feel like C is correct.
But it might be wrong.
Yeah, I could be persuaded otherwise. Anybody else want to defend another one? Think through another one? Or do we just want to see the answer? I want to see the answer. All right. We're gonna, Annette said C. We'll go with Annette. Oh,
So wrong. This was a hard one. This was a good
yeah.
question.
Okay. To be fair, I have no idea what that is. What are contextual attributes?
All right. Let's find out.
Isn't it like time?
Hmm. Have to be honest, this doesn't make crystal clear sense to me, but they're saying that this is at the most granular form. I mean, yeah, okay, I do get it. I get access-based control, and I get MFA. I suppose you just really have to understand their applications to grasp why this word salad was that way. But yeah, good question. All right. In a corporate network, the security architect is tasked with implementing a solution to prevent unauthorized access to critical servers by implementing access based on the geographic location of the users. Which of the following technologies would be best suited for this scenario? Prevent unauthorized access to critical servers, limiting access based on geographic location of the users. Yeah, I like B2.
Yeah.
Only reason, I mean, A could be an option, but B is a feature of A a lot of the time, right? So, see if we're right. Yeah. Okay. Which of the following principles imposes a standard of care upon an individual that is broad and equivalent to what one would expect from a reasonable person under the circumstances. I believe it's, I want to say A, so it is either D or C or A. So we got due diligence, due care, the only applicable options. C's, okay, I think this is just knowing the proper terminology. Anybody got a defense for due diligence? Yeah. Yeah. Any reasonable person.
Due diligence is ongoing due care. That's how I remember it.
That's super helpful. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
All right. During the software development lifecycle, a development team is implementing security controls to protect a new web application. The team is debating whether to use static or dynamic code analysis tools. Which of the following best describes the distinction between these two types of tools? Never been a fan of these kind of questions.
B.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. Got time for a few more. In a large enterprise environment, the Chief Information Security Officer at CISO is conducting a comprehensive risk assessment to identify potential threats and vulnerabilities. As part of the assessment, the CISO is focusing on the business impact analysis of a new system deployment that will handle highly sensitive customer data. The CISO needs to determine potential risks, financial losses associated with data breach on the system. Which risk assessment methodology should the CEO use to quantify the financial impact? Yeah, that was a lot of reading for them to give it away in the last sentence.
Wait, how do you know?
Quantify. Instead of quantitative and qualitative. So quantitative risk analysis to ensure the quantitative risk analysis. Yeah.
Oh, so it's the opposite?
No, it's A. I cannot explain the difference to you, but I know that I've done this 3 times tonight. I believe that is why that's that way, because it quantitative, qualitative, qualitative, or whatever.
Okay.
Does that make sense to anybody else?
Quantitative is monetary money. Qualitative assessment is more like low, medium, high, And qualitative is usually used for for example, like
quantity is number, qualitative is like a scale, is how I've thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Let's okay.
What we're looking for is the one that is dollar value. So which one is dollar value? It's not quantitative, that is dollar value.
How do you mean lower value? I'm not sure I understand.
Okay, one is what you are checking for is the financial impact, which has to do with dollar value, monetary value. So which I believe that should be quantitative, not qualitative.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think I misheard you. You guys want to do one more? You want to call it? End on a high note. Save something for tomorrow. We can read this one if you want. You guys can read it to yourselves.
That's a hard one. All right, yeah, this will be the last one. Shit.
Yeah, this is it. All right, I got you guys. In a multinational financial services company, the IT security team is tasked with implementing data classification and handling procedures for sensitive customer information. The company stores customer data in a centralized database accessible to authorized personnel across different branches. To ensure data confidentiality, integrity, and availability, the team decides to implement encryption at rest and in transit. Which of the following encryption types should the team prioritize for securing customer data in the database?
I'm not good with the encryptions.
I would say B,
I would too, but I don't know why.
because my gut says it's the fastest, but I don't know about RSA 1024 now that I look at it. Because isn't asymmetric encryption faster than symmetric?
Yeah.
You only need one key.
Symmetric is
So
faster.
speed. So go. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Annette.
My dog's barking. I'm sorry.
That's
Symmetric
okay.
is faster.
You said
Symmet-
symmetric is faster than asymmetric, or asymmetric is faster than
Symmetric is
symmetric?
faster than asymmetric.
Symmetric is one key or two?
It's one.
One.
It's one.
Symmetric is one.
Symmetric is one. It's
It's a
faster.
shared key. Yeah. Asymmetric is two keys, public and private.
Yes.
Only remember is symmetric. You can use it as a same. The word same. That's what I always remember it as.
Oh, no. Thank you.
That's helpful.
Same set of key. Yeah.
So which one do we think the team should prioritize? A? And is that line of thinking correct because we think it's the fastest?
No, now I think we're right on.
It's more secure.
Yeah. Now that we know that, I think B's right.
I would want to, so my defense on that, I would want to go with A just because it's saying that what type should the team priority for securing customer data in a database? So that's the confidentiality, that's data at rest, securing it. Asymmetric is the RSA, isn't that for like signing? Integrity. 1024, asymmetric encryption with RSA for signing.
Okay.
I mean, I could be wrong. I might
No,
be wrong.
it
I don't
sounded
know.
good. Let's find out.
Okay.
Okay. It was A.
Okay.
That's good to know.
Wow. All right. Good session, everybody. What's going on? The app is out. I truly appreciate everybody who's already supporting me on that. We're going to push a big update on there tonight. What else? If people want to start thinking about maybe picking up a night or a night or two, I feel like maybe every other day I could definitely commit to. It'd be nice to have somebody fill in like those other 2 days of the week. But if anybody wants to, just reach out to me. Yeah, Reg, I was thinking of you. Just send me a message on school and we'll set that up.
Okay. Oh, that sounds good.
Thank you, sir. And Mario, just drop me a link to a meeting in school chat and I'll jump in there with you.
Okay.
Okay. All right, everyone. Have a fantastic night. I appreciate you all.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Vincent. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye. Of course.
Everybody.